Welcome, everyone. I'm David Botdorf, AIC Executive Director, and welcome to another edition of Conversations with Policymakers. With us today is Corey Voigt from the Indiana Attorney General's office, Todd Rokita's office. He's an Assistant Chief Deputy, and he's been working with us for several years on the opioid settlements. And the Attorney General's office has done a fantastic job working on these national settlements. And then we're very thankful that the Attorney General's office have been very supportive of making sure a lot of those a lot of the dollars come to the local units of government. So we very much appreciate that. But Corey, I know we communicated recently, and one of the nuances with the opioid settlement is this new Sackler Purdue Pharma deal. So if you can reference that and tell the counties what they need to do to make sure they're part of that settlement.
Sure, David. So several years ago, our office, the Attorney General's office, under Todd Rokita, worked with the General Assembly to come up with the distribution statute for the settlement funds in all these opioid matters. And as a part of that statute, most everyone is a part of any settlement that the state enters into. And what that has meant is typically once the state enters into one of the settlements over the last couple of years, then the counties enter into the settlement. There's a slight wrinkle here with the Purdue Pharma Sackler matter. In the Purdue Pharma Sackler matter, the attorneys representing Purdue Pharma and the Sacklers want a release in addition to what is provided for in our statutory scheme. So it's an abundance of caution. Lawyers are doing what they do. So to that end, there have been forms sent out to each county that request you, on behalf of your county, to release claims. In addition to the forms going out, if you're represented by counsel, we have contacted your counsel and you should be in contact with them regarding this. But the statute already provides that you're a part of the settlement, and this is in a sense a legal formality, but you need to do it in order to receive funds. So we'd ask you to execute the document and then return it as the form directs to the National Administrator Rubris.
All right, and your county should have received the form directly from the Attorney General's office. We're going to attach it in this video, but it has to be signed by September 30th. And again, you should talk to your county counsel or your county attorney, and then if you have outside counsel, make sure you inform them that you're going to sign the document and seek their advice. So I do want to go over a little bit about the general settlement because we probably have a lot of new council and commissioners who were not in office when these settlements started to come down the line about 5 or 6 years ago. And so Indiana's settlement is controlled by Indiana Code 4-6-15. And we were very fortunate in the General Assembly allowed that when these settlements occur, that half of the money goes to the state and half of it goes to the local units of government. So cities, towns, and counties, and especially counties, had a lot of expenses related to opioids, jail overcrowding, deaths, treatment, additional prosecution, public defenders. And so we thought it was very appropriate that counties receive part of this settlement. And so the way the local settlements are received, the local units of government, again, they get half of the settlement that the state receives, and 15% of that money can be spent on anything. We call it the unrestricted fund, and then 35% has restrictions on it. And when I'm referencing this, I'm referencing the full 100%. But so again, there's two funds. The restricted fund has to be spent on purposes that will abate opioid use. I mean, it can be used on treatment, recovery, things that are going to help individuals recover from having addiction issues. So if a city or town, if in the formula from the state, if the city or town is going to receive less than $5,000, that money rolls up to the county. But we really encourage counties, cities, and towns to all work together annually to coordinate on how this money is going to be spent to make sure it's used in the most efficient and appropriate way to help the citizens.
The statute allows for interlocal agreements to effectuate that. And I'll also add, David, that if you have a question about how to use the funds, if you go to the Attorney General's website, you will see that there in each of these settlements, the same document is a part of the settlement. It's called Exhibit E in a lot of the settlements. You go to that document, there's a link on our website. It's fairly easy to get to, and it will go through a number of different things that you can do that would be considered appropriate with the restricted funds.
Yeah, that's a good point. The Attorney General's website has a lot of information on the opioid settlement, and it lists the companies that have settled already and the amount that the state's going to receive, or the national settlement amount, and then the amount that the state's going to receive. And then when you can look at those state numbers, you can assume that half of that money is going to come to the locals. And again, this money, each settlement's a little bit unique, where when the settlement payments are going to be received, so it's not a consistent year over year amount, but the payments will come in really basically for some of them over the next 18 years. But you should definitely go to the Attorney General's webpage and look up the settlement, and you'll be able to find how much money your county's received, and really where the money's been spent so far. So, but it'd be very difficult to have reached these settlements without the Attorney General's involvement if each county across the country had to negotiate individually. So these national settlements have really been beneficial for us. And there's more settlements coming. I mean, so that's good to know. The negotiations are still occurring. But if you have any questions, I encourage you to go again to the Attorney General's webpage. You can see the website where you report how you spent opioid money between July 1st, 2024 and June 30th, 2025. This information has to be submitted to FSSA by the end of the day, September 5th. NACO, the National Association of Counties, has a great resource page. You can use that. And also on the state's webpage, you can, again, pull up a document to see how your county's been spending the money since the settlements started several years ago. So a lot of great information on the internet. And so encourage you to educate yourself on these settlements and learn how your county can spend this money in an appropriate fashion to help your citizens. So Corey, thanks for coming in and providing the update. And again, don't forget to sign that document for the Purdue Pharma Sackler to make sure you receive that part of the settlement. And again, you have to sign that by the end of September. So thanks everybody, and appreciate your watching our show.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, Corey.